Hey guys, this is Jamie. Welcome to my channel. I've been seeing a lot of people making Sims and spinning a little wheel. I kind of wanted to go for underground, kind of obscure aesthetics just because I think it's a lot more cool and we can learn something from it, and learning is learning. I made a list, I put it together, I did some research, and I'll leave the link of the Wikipedia. I took this from below, and I've narrowed it down to 12. I tried not to include some that fell into similar categories as others, so they might be called different names and whatnot. Yeah, let me put on my super gamer headphones. Let's do this. I took a nap and it lasted longer than I thought, and when I came back, my microphone was acting wonky. This is what it sounded like. It's 9:25 at night, but and I didn't realize until it was too late, so I'm just gonna do a voiceover. Sorry, guys. I like coffee. Kill me. Alright. I have 3 spinners set up. Since The Sims makes you choose a masculine or a feminine body type, I have girl and boy. I also have skin color, in addition to the aesthetics, just so that I don't have to spend time picking outside variables. Jesus Christ! Oh my gosh, I forgot how loud that is. So our first one's going to be a girl. Now we're spinning aesthetics. Chaotic Academia. Now we're on to skin tones, and I put 1 through 10 because I didn't know what to call each of the skin tones. 1 is just white, 10's black, and then I'm thinking 5 is probably kind of like a olivey tan color, maybe. We'll see. And we got 4. To find the actual Sims, I went on the gallery, and I like to use the Claire Chabon Townies hashtag just because they're really cool. If you guys want me to come up with some hashtag, just let me know. Chaotic Academia is messy and haphazardous. It's studying on the floor covered in banned literature and languages you don't understand, drinking cold tea because you forgot about it but don't want to dump it out because it's special. Irrelevant sticky notes on the walls, mismatched socks, messy, uncut hair kept up with a rubber band, pockets of office supplies, making collages of articles and old book excerpts with homoerotic subtext, photographs of statues from unflattering angles in black and white, anarchism quotes, with a faded earth tone color palette. Make paper planes out of discarded vintage-bound books and have a throwing battle with a Latin student for the best table in the library. I've already changed her skin tone to match 4. I want to give her some bushy eyebrows to kind of make it look like they're unkempt. Her forehead is super small, so I'm not going to give her a hairline. And I don't think she's going to wear a lot of makeup because she's going to be so focused on the things that we talked about previously, like banned literature and anarchism. I threw on some pretty basic eyelashes. I really like the short hair, but it didn't look messy enough. And then I really liked this hair, but it seemed like it would get in the way of studying on the floor, so I picked this little bun. It's kind of messy, kind of cute. Just imagine that it's being held up with a rubber band. And I thought about giving her piercings too, but I don't think she would spend time to get a piercing or care for it. I did want to give her glasses though. I didn't want to go for something too fashionable or too fancy. These glasses are really just to help her see. I opted for these ones. They're not too fancy, but they're fancy enough that they kind of look like she picked them up from an antique store. So I really wanted to give her a scarf or just something wrapped around her neck so that she had layers. I know cardigans are a big thing in Chaotic Academia. I ended up going with this stripy one. And then for makeup, I just gave her a little bit of lip gloss so that she has chapstick. Then I spent so much time on socks. I didn't have any mismatched socks, which is awful. If you guys have a link to CC mismatched socks, please leave it in a comment below. I just opted for these ones with llamas, and then I gave her some Oxfords. So for pants, I just wanted something that could be iffy in terms of clean or not. I kind of wanted these ones, but they seemed too put together. So I ended up going with some cuffed sort of mom jeans in a greenish color just to match the earth tone palette. And then for a top, I ended up going with a sort of form-fitting turtleneck-ish kind of brown color top. I didn't want anything too fancy, something simple that was comfortable to study in. I gave her the academic life aspiration, and she's a genius. I almost gave her the daydreamer trait, but I opted for bookworm because obviously they love their books. I also made her a historian, and there we go. Raven Daniels, our chaotic academic. So now we're on sim number 2. They will be a boy. Okay, and the theme or the aesthetic will be barely Jojo Core. This is super exciting. Okay, awesome. And the skin is 2 out of 10, so pretty fair. Jojo Core is taken from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's aesthetically similar to hyperpop with anime and bodybuilder elements. It's flamboyant fashion, lots of makeup, basically anime core on steroids. It's workout centric with high energy, and everything is loud. There's tons of accessories, theatrical hairstyles, and a bright color palette like the show. So I found this guy I really liked. He's by Call Me Sasha 777. Most of the hairs I liked at first were Maxis, and I did want something a little more high def. So I ended up going with this one, which is perfect because it looks just like Dio's and Journo's hair. Now, Jojo Core is very focused on appearance, so I made sure that his eyebrows were on fleek. And I made sure to angle them slightly. I matched them with the color of his hair first, and then I bent them a little bit just to give it a more extreme look. I also gave him brightly colored eyes. I ended up choosing purple. And then since this is so workout centric, I changed his body to make it a little more buff, or way more buff actually, and a little more heavy. I also gave him makeup looking skin and some pretty eyelashes. And just to go with the workout theme, I also gave him a bright pink band-aid. And for the headband, I gave him this one specially for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Definitely did not have this already installed in my game. Anyway, yeah, so I got some really brightly colored lipstick, which is super fun looking, and I matched the color to characters similar in the show. I did want to kind of give him anime shirts, but this wasn't anime core, and Jojo Core is more instyled by Victorian, flamboyantly colored clothing, showing a lot of skin, so I thought the Joker jacket was perfect. For pants, I did have a little bit of trouble. I ended up just going with a Maxis yellow color. And then shoes were really fun because I was able to go with a more streetwear, 90s style, brightly colored shoe. And I was so happy when I found out somebody made JoJo style gloves for The Sims 4, so obviously I went with those. Since they have a lot of accessories, I did include piercings, but I just gave him little studs because he's going to be so focused on working out. I also gave him a pretty simple necklace just because his chest was kind of bare. And then obviously I made his life aspiration bodybuilding and made him athletic. I think those are 2 of the biggest defining traits, in addition to being self-assured, as I imagine you'd have to be if you were this stylish and colorful. You really stand out. I also made him a geek because Jojo Core is all about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is a manga and anime. There is Kai Jojo, our Jojo Core sim. So we're halfway there, we're spinning the wheel again, and it looks like it's going to be a girl! Yay! Okay, now the style. By a hair, it's Aesthetic Core, which I love. And she will be a middle skin tone. Aesthetic Core has a tight association with Tumblr. It involves skating, botany, 90s anime culture, fruit jams, history, thrifting, and palette mixing. I did end up making her a little more lo-fi than Aesthetic Core, so if you guys want me to revisit this aesthetic, please let me know in the comments below. This sim was definitely, by a long shot, the most fun sim to make. Oh my gosh. And then I gave her a little tooth gap, just because I think it's so cute. And this is Aesthetic Core, guys. So hair was so much fun, oh my gosh. And this is also where I kind of went into lo-fi territory just because I wanted really brightly colored hair because it's so much fun. And I went with these two super cute buns, just like Niane Lebejoa. I'm probably butchering her name, but she is everything I think of when I think of aesthetic core. And then I gave her these amazing neon headphones. They almost look holographic. And continuing with that shimmer, I gave her some light eyeshadow and ended up giving her sort of a fluorescent lipstick to match her hair and her headphones. Again, this is getting into lo-fi territory, but I still think it's aesthetic core. I gave her lenses that make her look like she's a blogger, you know, with the little ring light. It's amazing. And of course, I had to give her a little nose piercing. For earrings, I did want something dangly. I thought these ones were absolutely perfect. They are just so mood. I love it. And I gave her these necklaces with crystals because I think that she would be very much into crystals. For tattoos, I found this set of tattoos which has Pokemon references and a bunch of other really cute things. So probably 90% of my CC wardrobe on The Sims is aesthetic core / lo-fi. I had such trouble deciding on a top that was perfect for her, but then I found this one with vaporwave vibes and it is so perfect. Going with the crystals, she's probably very focused around astronomy maybe, so I gave her these pants with space. I think I ended up switching them to faces because it matches her earrings and it's super aesthetic. Come on, guys. Socks, I ended up going with some holographic ones. I also gave her a bunch of accessories. Just really layered her up with stuff. Then I gave her these bright holographic nails. She's a holosexual, guys. For shoes, I do end up changing them later after our final sim, but for now, I gave her these holographic boots, again with the holographics. For her life aspiration, I wanted something in the art, so I just made her a photographer. She'd probably go around taking black and white photos and pondering life. It is very aesthetics, like with her Polaroid, you know? I made her creative. And then an art lover, definitely. And the third one, since aesthetic core is very focused around botany, I gave her the horticulturist trait as well. And there is Shanna Rains, our aesthetic core sim. So our final sim for this challenge will be Barely, a girl. Yay, okay. And now the theme is it queer core? It's queer core, okay. Awesome. And her skin will be super, super pale. Queercore was born into the DIY and punk scene. There are themes of sexuality and the prejudice that comes with it, politics and rioting, a music-centric attitude, underground aesthetics, and a dark color palette with rainbow accents. So I found this sim from Gendy T United. She's perfect for it. Oh god, and I almost replaced my whole family. Oh, that gave me a heart attack. I got rid of her freckles just because our last sim had freckles, and since she is so pale, freckles probably aren't going to be super common on her face. And I did want to make her androgynous because queercore is so tied with the LGBTQ community. It is a subsection of punk, so I gave her these cut eyebrows, which are so cool. Unfortunately, most of the tattoos I had didn't show on the skin, but I did manage to find a few that showed on top of it, so I went with these. They're very dark, just like the color palette of punk, and I made her boobs a little bit smaller and just gave her a more androgynous body, basically my body. I gave her dark lipstick. I didn't want it to be black just because this is punk, not goth, so I went with a kind of moody purple. And I gave her some dirty eyeliner mascara, kind of made it look like she slept with it on. I did give her eyeshadow, and I made it a little bit messy and edgy and grungy just to match the punk aesthetic. And to give her an eyebrow piercing, I had to move her eyebrows a little bit into the focus, but we had to give her a piercing. And I gave her so many piercings because piercings are where it's at. I also gave her a choker. Hair was super enjoyable as well. I have this hair from Life is Strange. If you can't tell, that is one of the games I've played. I like the buns, but all in all, I chose this short one just to keep it androgynous. And then I gave her a little beanie on top. Again, I have a ton of Life is Strange tops. I am so happy with whoever did this. I'll link them below so you can download it too. Sadly, the only LGBTQ shirt that I had was this one. So if you guys have any CC, please link it to me. And oh my god, look at how happy I was when I found that shirt. It was just so perfect. I did spend quite a bit of time looking for a more punk version of a gay shirt, but it didn't exist, so it is what it is. And I found the perfect punk pants, but it gave her a really weird body shape. I did want to give her sort of combat boots, and the ones that I picked were actually the same that I used for Miss Aesthetic Core, and I saw the option for stars, so I had to switch back real quick to Aesthetic Core and give her those boots. Beautiful. Bootiful. Oh god. So I gave her black nail polish, and then I sort of had to thin her waist out a little bit just to make it look more normal since the shirt bubbled out like that. I wanted her to be into some sort of music, but the only musical aspiration is voice virtuoso. So I gave her that one, and I gave her dance machine because moshing is what it's all about, guys. She's a music lover, obviously, from the DIY punk scene. And the final trait was kind of difficult, so I gave her edgy. Yes, punk is edgy. And there's Rhea Hughes, our queercore sim. I'm going to be compiling a list of all the CC I used so you guys can download it too, and I'll put this up on the gallery. If you guys have feedback on any of these 4 aesthetics, or if you have any that you'd like to add to the list for next time, if you want a next time, please let me know. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!